Let's say this person is on their back, so they're lying supine, and they are able to, keeping a flat back to the floor, they can bring their knees well past their waist. So if it's just the lumbar spine and the hips, then in theory, mechanically, they should be able to squat 5 to 6 inches below parallel. So I will say that they have the hardware and the hips and low back to squat very, very deeply with a good neutral spine. This is the joint by joint. So now let's assume that this person can do that.
Yeah.
But when they squat, they cannot do this. They get dumped over or they start to round their back. Well, as you descend in a true squat, which is maintaining roughly your glutes almost in between your center, in between your base of support, you will certainly have some degree of posterior weight shift, but you're pretty much just folding like an accordion.
Yeah.
And that accordion will fold with a very tall spine, flexed hips, flexed knees, and dorsiflexed ankles.
Yeah.
So if we do not have, for the depth that I want to get to, if my ankles do not dorsiflex appropriately, which is roughly, depending on who you are and how deep you want to squat, we're going to say 30 degrees, 20 degrees if you're squatting a little bit higher. If you can't dorsiflex, your ankles run out of that accordion, and if you have it in your mind and in your feedback through proprioception that you're still neutral spine, you'll wind up being very, very flexed because it was the ankles that led you to this rounding of the spine, which we know is very, very foolish and very, very deleterious in terms of back pain.
Sure.
So it's the ankles that ran out of room, whereas before we were talking about the hips that ran out of room. The back pays the price the same way.